Welcome back, everybody. It's a brand new episode of 5 Minute Majors. I'm your host, Derek Harper. Let's dive right into it. A lot to touch on with the past few days of action. The past week, actually, really. Shea Van Olm continuing to impress since he's come over from the Edmonton Oil Kings to the Spokane Chiefs, brought with him that championship caliber leadership experience, where they obviously won a title. The Oil Kings, very well-known brand, respected and very successful team. So he is now leading the league in points. Shea Van Olm just impressing, impressing, impressing. And he's only second in goals to Brandon Wheat King's Roger McQueen. I mean, to be in that sort of company is pretty impressive. Obviously, Roger, he was putting up a phenomenal experience in the first 90 games. I think he had like 4 goals, which is just incredible. Not many players have done that. So Brandon, definitely a team to keep your eye on this year. The Chiefs as well. And the Chiefs are actually in the top five in the Western Conference. We'll go over the top five right now. The Everett Silvertips, who are on their Eastern swing as well as the Chiefs, they sit at 1 going into Wednesday night slated games. Prince George, Spokane, Portland, and Victoria round out the top five in the Western Conference. Over in the Eastern Conference, we have the Eastern Conference runner-up Saskatoon Blades, Red Deer Rebels, Lethbridge Hurricanes, and the Regina Pats, who Connor Bedard played for. The WHL Cup is coming up. That will be held at the Red Deer Rebels facility. So big deal there. Team Manitoba, they're the defending champions. We also have the CHL versus USA National Development Team program coming up. That is November 26th in London, Ontario, and the following day in Oshawa, Ontario. So OHL venues hosting some big games there. Obviously, we used to have the CHL versus Russia, but with all the political nonsense in the world right now, and we've been dealing with, I guess, some fallout there. So it's now the USA versus CHL. So that will be very interesting to see with all the talent, obviously at the junior A level in the US, and especially in the USHL where they have their team. But getting into the normal set of rankings, the CHL's top 10 rankings have come out per usual. The Ontario Hockey League checks in with 4 this week, including the Brampton Steelheads at 1. The Saginaw Spirit, last year's Memorial Cup host, they're at 5. The Niagara Ice Dogs at 8, and the London Knights at 10. London, always that super experienced team. The Quebec Maritimes Junior Hockey League, formerly known as the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. They checked in with 3 teams. The Moncton Wildcats leading the way for them at number 3. The Sherbrooke Phoenix sit at 4. And this year's Memorial Cup, the Rimouski Oceanic at 6. The WHL matched the QMJHL with 3 teams. Prince George is sitting at 3, Red Deer at 7, and Medicine Hat at 9. Medicine Hat obviously have Gavin McKenna, Connor Bedard's cousin. So definitely something to keep your eye on there as well. We've seen a lot of WHL and CHL alumni take to the rink this year in the NHL. Very good to see there. I mean, you look at Oliver Bjorkstrand, Cody Glass, Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid. And those are covering all 3 leagues just with that small list. So McDavid played for the Erie Otters. Sidney Crosby played for this year's Memorial Cup host, the Rimouski Oceanic. Cody Glass, Ryan Johansson. Ryan Johansson's one to keep your eye on as he's kind of dealing with that situation. Trying to figure out if he's going to find a place to play or not. But very talented league, obviously, across the board. And then Shea Van Olm, obviously, he is probably going to be a top draftee here in the next year or so. So definitely got to keep your eye on as he builds his stock up. But and then Roger McQueen, obviously, he's the top 2025 NHL draft prospect. So that's pretty darn good to be in that sort of company. for him to be in those rankings up there. Brandon, obviously, they built up a lot of trades with the Portland Winterhawks, so they'll be dealing with them. Um, I would guess in the future as well. Obviously, those deals have benefited both teams. Nate Danielson came over to the Winterhawks from Brandon, and we have seen him with the Detroit Red Wings. But and then obviously there's a lot of talent in WHL still. At the WHL Cup, they produced a lot of draft picks, 7 players in this year's WHL prospects draft. So you got to think that talent is only going to get better and better and better. So it's going to be something to keep your eye on in the next few NHL drafts. Definitely, uh, with that talent, we could see a large majority of these players come from the WHL. Not counting out the other 2 leagues, obviously, but WHL seems to have a lot of stock this season. So that's my lead to watch this.